Hi there, and welcome to Mendel Plays. In this episode of my first attempt at an all achievements run, I'm going to be focusing on expansions that were made to my base, some continued exploration as I started to reveal more of the map, and the eventual discovery of the first of the 2 story traits that was added to the game with Clay's recent Sweet Dreams update. Having just recently achieved the Carnivore achievement, the next thing that I'd set my sights on was getting super sustainable. This is the last achievement out of all of the achievements that has some barrier that could prevent you from ever being able to get it within a particular run. In this case, if I ever generate any power using a building other than the manual generator, the hydrogen generator, or solar panels, I would bust my all achievements goal. I had this pool of undug water in the upper left-hand corner of my base, and I decided that I needed to add that to my large water pool. So I created a little pool that I could get access to, placed a liquid pump in that pool, and the piping that I needed to pump that liquid into my main water pool. When I dug into the area and released the water, of course one of my dupes ended up getting trapped, because dupes are dupes. Thankfully, I was able to catch it before I got the suffocating notice, and was able to build a ladder quick enough for the dupe to be able to get out and breathe in that sweet, sweet oxygen. You can also see that one of the poke shell variants was hiding inside of this water pool, which I wasn't ready to deal with, so I just left it there for the time being. I was also adding to my large water pool by pumping in polluted water from another part of the map. I decided to speed up the conversion of that polluted water by adding another water sieve to my loop. I have this tendency when I'm building my base to sometimes shuffle stuff around when I want to make things more efficient. Here I decided I wanted to move my ranch that was directly above my barracks and shift it over to the left. The primary reason is I wanted to move the second set of barracks that I had built closer to my original barracks so all of my dupes could be closer together when they were sleeping. This also meant adding some decor to boost the morale of my dupes while they were sleeping. I deconstructed my original second barracks and left it open because I saw it as a potential opportunity to have that room potentially serve as an exosuit room in the future. Once all that was done, I created another long ladder segment to create more flexibility in how my dupes could find the fastest path to the various parts of the base they needed to access. I was also using this new ladder to push the boundaries of where I currently explored on the map, both on the upper left and then eventually on the lower left. I carved out this area here as a placeholder to eventually house my drowning chamber, but this ended up not actually being the place where my drowning chamber was set up. For those not familiar with the drowning chamber and its purpose, I'll go over that once the new one is actually built. Here I'm drawing access to the lower part of the map on the left-hand side. Again, primarily to reduce travel time. At Cycle 113, I got my next colony achievement, this one being the Ghost of Gravitas, where I recovered a database entry by digging into that one area with the computer desk and the office equipment. As I was trying to expand out my base, I decided I wanted to core out this area that had saltwater pockets and bleachstone pockets and etc. I wanted to dig into this so I could expand out my base, but also because I had discovered a geyser that I wanted to unbury. So I set about carving a large area that could act as my saltwater pool once I actually dug into these various pockets that had salt water in them. Once the area borders were completed, that gave me some flexibility to dig into some of these saltwater pockets and allow them to drip into what would eventually become a fairly significant sized saltwater pool. Here I'm into the final stages of uncovering this buried object. Eventually I discovered that it was a chlorine vent. Not something that I wanted to get into in that area anytime soon, so once I discovered it, I left it alone. As I was digging out that area, I was also exploring into the lower left-hand part of my base, and it's there that I discovered the very first of the new story traits that Clay has included with the Sweet Dreams update. I avoided reading anything about what these new story traits were all about, because I wanted to discover what they were on my own. This particular story trait ended up being what is called the Critter Flux O-Matic, apparently something that I needed to feed various critters into for analysis. So I dug into the area and activated the device, and then dug around to the other side of the device because it was pretty clear based on the flashing arrow that I needed the critters to enter in from the other side. Once I constructed a critter drop-off, I had to make a decision as to what critter I wanted to try first. I decided to start with Drekos since that ranch was pretty close by. Of course, my dupe that was tasked to wrangle the Draco and deliver it to the drop-off got interrupted, freeing the Draco to roam around in the area, so I set to wrangle again to get it into the critter drop-off for real. After dropping off the Draco, it went directly into the Critter Flux O-Matic, and after some animation of analysis, the Draco got spit out the other side and I got a new species scanned notification. That notification let me know that there was some flavor text added to the Critter Flux O-Matic database entry, and looking at the Fluxomatic device itself, it let me know that there were 4 more critters that it needed before it could consider to be online. Since I also had ranched hatches, that was the next thing I queued up to get dropped off. I grabbed specifically a smooth hatch from my smooth hatch ranch and let that also get analyzed in the machine. I got more flavor text for the database entry. After reviewing that, I had to figure out what my next creature was going to be. I didn't have any other ranches, but I did have some poke shells that were lying about in the wild. After revealing its flavor text, I was thinking about the last 2 critters that I needed to send, that I didn't have 2 other critters currently on this map. I had killed off all of the plug slugs and the pips that had come out of the pip eggs from the printing pod during my phase of trying to get carnivore by 100 cycles. So I decided to wait until the printing pod could give me 2 more critters to bring the machine fully online. At cycle 146, I got my next colony achievement, which was to produce 10 tons of refined metal by ranching smooth hatches. As I continued to explore the map, I found the second story trait device that was added to the Sweet Dreams update. I had no idea what this thing was all about, but was excited to get into it in my next session with the game. That just about does it for this episode, my first ONI episode in 2023. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. As always, I welcome any feedback or comments. Next week, I'll be returning to my silent playthrough series for my second episode of Inscription, so 2 weeks from now, you'll get to see me tackle this device for real. Thanks so much for watching. Check the video description to find ways to support me in my various endeavors. Insert your standard like and subscribe ask here, and please always feel free to tell me your story because no matter who you are, I would definitely love to hear it.